I currently have 4 credit cards, but I plan to double that by the end of 2024. In this video, I'll walk you through what credit cards I'll be adding and why they're best for me, and how I plan to get the most value from those cards. Now, my current credit card strategy is to build a hybrid setup with a focus on cash back. Now, since I do travel a few times a year, I will like to add 1 to 2 travel credit cards to my wallet. The first credit card that I opened was the TD Cash card back in December of 2020. Now, that card gives you 3% cash back on your favorite category of choice, 2% cash back on your second category of choice, 1% cash back on everything else. Now, I'm using that credit card mostly for the 3% cash back in grocery currently. I opened my next card around 2 years later in February of 2022. And that was the Amazon Prime Visa card. And I'm using that card mostly for 5% cash back on Amazon and Whole Foods. The card I opened after that was the SoFi credit card back in August of 2022. I'm using that as my catch all credit card because of the limited 2% cash back on all purchases. Finally, I opened my next credit card about a year later in July 2023. And that was the Chase Freedom Unlimited. I'm using that card mostly for 3% cash back on grocery, 1.5% cash back on everything else. I opened that card mostly to get into the Chase ecosystem and to get the sign-up bonus that they're offering at that time. Now, considering I opened the Limited as my last newest credit card, the next card I would like to open is the Chase Freedom Flex because I would like to build up the Chase Trifecta. That Chase Trifecta includes cards like the Flex, the Limited, and the Sapphire Preferred or Reserve. Now, building the Chase Trifecta early on in my credit card journey will let me pull the points that I earned from the Flex and the Limited together to later transfer those points out to the annual fee credit cards like Preferred or Reserve for higher value. Now, it is better to add Chase credit cards early on in your credit card journey while you're under the 524 rule. Now, Chase has a rule where they will deny you for any credit cards if you have 5 or more credit cards open in the past 24 months. I'm currently at 324 with the Limited being my newest credit card. I would ideally like to add the Chase Freedom Flex next to my wallet because it offers 5% cash back on routine categories like grocery stores, select online merchants, and gas stations with a no annual fee. The card also offers 1% cash back on everything else. Unfortunately, that 5% cash back on routine categories is maxed at $1,500 per quarter in combined purchases. Chase has the calendar on their website where you can view previous categories for the past year. Category for Q4 of 2023 is 5% cash back on PayPal, wholesale clubs, and select charities. Unfortunately, that 5% cash back on wholesale clubs does exclude Costco. Costco only takes Visa in stores, but they do take MasterCard on their website. Now, the categories are honestly not too bad for this card. For example, the quarter with Amazon and Lowe's as one of the 5% cashback categories isn't something I already use because I already have the 5% cashback from my Amazon Prime card. Therefore, this card will have no value to me during that quarter. I am looking forward to getting the 5% cashback in grocery stores since I currently have my TD Cash card that only gives me 3% cashback until I can get a better grocery cashback card in the future. Now, Chase has some of the easiest requirements for the sign-up bonuses. For example, this card, their sign-up bonus is to spend $500 within the first 3 months of account opening to get $200 cash back. Now, this was the same sign-up bonus that the Unlimited offer as well, and I was easily able to obtain that bonus only after a month of account opening. Now, unfortunately, I missed out on a Chase promo that they're offering for this card a few months ago. They're offering 5% cash back on gas and grocery the first year on up to $12,000 in spend. Now, since this card only offers 1% cash back on all of the purchases, I most likely won't be using this card a lot other than for the 5% cash back categories that they're offering for those quarters. Therefore, by having that promo for gas and grocery for the first year would have been very nice and would have had me use this card more often. I would ideally like to wait for that 5% cash back offer on gas and grocery for the first year to come back. If it doesn't, I might move this card out a bit and get my next card earlier, which is the Wells Fargo Bilt MasterCard. I plan to get the Bilt MasterCard as soon as I can, since it's one of the best no annual fee credit cards out there right now, and it's a no-brainer for those who rent since it offers 1x back on rent payments without any transaction fees. This card also offers 3x back on dining, 2x back on travel, and 1x back on everything else. Now, Bilt does a special promo on the first day of the month where they will double these points. Therefore, that's 6x back on dining, 4x back on travel, and 2x back on everything else, excluding rent. Since rent is my biggest expense every month, this card is a must for me and for most Americans who currently rent. Now, I currently don't get any points back for my rent since I use my checking account. Therefore, I'm missing out on a lot of points back that I could be earning if I had this card. Firstly, I can't use my SoFi credit card for this purchase because it only offers 2% cash back on all purchases. My rent charges a 3% transactions fee with a MasterCard. For any of those benefits where the cashback would be wiped away and I would be losing money. Now, luckily, Bilt takes care of that 3% transactions fee. Therefore, I would be getting that 1x back on rent without any of the downsides of using a credit card. Now, I've currently been renting for just about 2 years, and I spent around $1,300 per month on rent. Now, that roughly comes out to around 14,000 Bilt points per year. Unfortunately, I will be moving at the beginning of next year, and my new rent will most likely be around $1,700 per month. That would come out to roughly around 20,000 Bilt points per year. Bilt lets you redeem these points to either travel through the transfer partners that they offer. You even have the Bilt travel portal where you can redeem those points as well. Bilt lets you also transfer these points to fitness classes and Amazon.com for shopping. One of the unique ways you can save Bilt points is by using it for a down payment for a future home. Now, if I was to go the down payment route by using my Bilt points, they're converted at 1.5% per point. Therefore, in my example earlier, if I was to rent for about 5 years with a $700 rent payment every month, that would roughly come out to around 100,000 Bilt points. That would be converted to around $1,500 down payment for a future home. To get more value from those points, Bilt lets you transfer these points out to transfer partners. Keep in mind that credit cards with transfer partners usually have an annual fee. Considering that Bilt has no annual fee and does have transfer partners, makes this a very powerful no annual fee credit card. Now, Bilt lets you transfer these points out one-to-one to many already existing transfer partners like American Airlines, IGH Rewards, and World of Hyatt, and many more I'll throw up on the screen. Chase is currently the only other credit card that lets you transfer points to Hyatt, and Bilt is the only credit card that lets you transfer points one-to-one to American Airlines. Therefore, by having a Chase credit card that lets you transfer points out, like Reserve or Preferred, and the Bilt credit card can be a really good combo for a really good travel hotel setup. Now, transferring these Bilt points out to transfer partners, you can easily get up to 1.8 cents per point in value. Of course, this all varies per transfer partner. Now, I can easily see myself using the Bilt points by transferring out to American Airlines, since I do travel a few times a year, and getting up to 1.8 cents per point in value can easily be the best way to maximize Bilt points. Bilt also lets you transfer the points out to the Bilt travel portal. You can get up to 1.25 cents per point in value by booking flights, hotels, or rentals through the travel portal. This can be another great option if you don't want to transfer the points out to travel partners, but you still want to use those points back for travel. The Bilt MasterCard also offers tons of other benefits like cell phone protection up to $800 if you pay your cell phone bill on the Bilt MasterCard. Now, the Bilt MasterCard is easily one of the best no annual fee credit cards out there right now. This is the only card that lets you earn points on rent without any transaction fees and lets you transfer those points out to existing travel partners. Firstly, there are a few minor downsides to the card. I personally believe that any new credit card you're signing up for should have a sign-up bonus, since sign-up bonuses are the best way to get upfront value on your spend. Now, while there is no sign-up bonus for the card, there is a welcome offer that Bilt is offering when you get your physical card in the mail. Now, that offer can be either 2x back on all purchases within the first 30 days of obtaining your physical card in the mail, or 5x back on all purchases when you get your physical card in the mail, or even 10x back on all purchases within the first 5 days of obtaining your physical card in the mail. Note that all these promos do exclude rent. Unfortunately, the promo is randomly targeted. I've seen people get none of these promos. I've seen some people get both the 2x and the 10x promo. I do know that the 5x promo is more common than the other promos. Lastly, to earn points with the card, you do have to have 5 transactions per statement period, with rent counting as one of those. Now, I tend to use this card mostly for my dining card instead of my Chase Freedom Unlimited. It also offers 3x back on dining. Now, I plan to apply for this credit card as soon as I can to get that 1x back on rent that I'm currently missing, since I am losing points back on rent that I could be earning right now. And every month that I wait for this card, if I have to push back the flex till after this card, I'm completely fine with that, since I'd rather wait for that 5% cash back on gas and grocery for that card instead. After the Bilt MasterCard and the Chase Freedom Flex, I tend to apply for the Capital One Venture X. The Venture X has been on my wish list for quite some time, and it's better to apply for this credit card early on in your credit card journey, because Capital One will deny you if they believe you're turning the credit card for the sign-up bonus, or if you have too many credit cards on your credit history already. Now, I've seen people get rejected for this credit card that have very high credit score and a very high income, simply because they have too many credit cards on their credit history already. Now, while Capital One doesn't have a 524 rule like Chase, they do have a 1-6 rule. Capital One will only approve you for one credit card every 6 months. Therefore, I tend to apply for this credit card around 6 months after I apply for the Bilt MasterCard. The Venture X will also be my first annual fee credit card. If I get the Bilt and the Flex, I will have a no annual fee credit card set up at that point. Unfortunately, this card comes with $395 annual fee, which is very high, considering that I have no annual fee credit cards right now in my wallet. but they do offer credits and bonuses every year to offset the very high annual fee, making it a free high-end premium travel credit card. The card also has a sign-up bonus of 75,000 miles if you spend $4,000 within the first 3 months of account opening. Those miles can be redeemed to 1 cent per mile, making that 75,000 mile bonus be equivalent to $750 cash back. Now that 4K requirement is a bit steep, therefore I would only apply for this credit card if I know I can hit that sign-up bonus after those 3 months. That sign-up bonus does kind of pay for the annual fee for the first year. Capital One justifies a $395 annual fee with a 10,000 mile anniversary bonus every year, starting your first anniversary, and a $300 annual travel credit for bookings through Capital One Travel Portal. Now I can easily see myself using a $300 annual credit for those few times I travel every year. Therefore, with that $300 annual credit and the 10K anniversary bonus every year, you'll be a net positive $5 with this card after your first year. Capital One also does offer $100 for TSA PreCheck credit or global entry. Now, redeeming that bonus to cash isn't the best way to get the most value from those miles. Capital One Venture X also has travel partners as well. We can transfer those points one-to-one. Now, they offer a bunch of transfer partners, but most are international airlines. Now, I mostly fly domestic when I travel those 3 times a year. Although if I do plan an international trip in the future, I can save those miles up and redeem it in the future. The card also offers 2x back on all other purchases. Therefore, this can become a capital credit card. So I can move away from my SoFi credit card and take that out of my wallet, use this card instead, since those miles can be worth a lot more than 1 cent per point. Another nice benefit to this credit card is that they do have Capital One lounges, and one's in DFW, which is my home airport. Therefore, I could easily take advantage of that when I'm flying out those 3 times a year. Capital One also has a pre-approval tool on their website where you can check if you're pre-approved for certain credit cards. Unfortunately, they don't have the Venture X on the approval tool. Although it is good to know that if you are pre-approved for the regular Venture card, you have a higher chance of being approved for the Venture X. I recently checked if I was pre-approved and I was, therefore that is a good sign. After the Venture X, I don't really plan to apply for any credit cards. I would like to garden for a bit. I won't be under 524 until August of 2024. Therefore, I could go for another Chase credit card if I wanted to. I would rather go for a business credit card. Now, I tend to apply for a business card by the end of 2024 to the beginning of 2025. Now, I've always had misconceptions about business credit cards where you need a big business with employees to get a business credit card. Luckily, that is not true. When applying for business credit cards, users need any income outside of your 9 to 5 or expect to have income. For example, any side hustle that you're working on, even if it's not generating income, can be classified as a business. When applying for business credit cards, you just need your social security number, and you can apply as a sole proprietor. You don't need a business EIN number or a business license. If applying for business credit card as a sole proprietor, you are the business and the business is you. Therefore, you can put your name as the business. Now, each business application will vary. Some credit card companies are more strict about this rule, where others are a bit more lenient. Now, the best thing about business credit cards is that they don't affect your 524 rule. There are a few exceptions like Capital One, Discover, or TD Bank. Fortunately for Chase business credit cards, you do have to be under 524. Although if approved for one of the credit cards, that will not affect your 524 status. Now, Chase has a few good no annual fee business credit cards. Chase Business Inc. Unlimited offers 1.5% cash back on all business purchases. There's also the Chase Business Cash that offers 5% cash back on the first 25K spent in categories like office supply stores, internet, cable phone, and services, and 2% cash back on the first 25K spent in gas stations and restaurants, and 1% cash back on everything else. Now, I would personally go for the Chase Business Inc. Unlimited, just because of the limited 1.5% cash back on all purchases. Now, those categories for the Inc. Business Cash don't really apply to my small business. Therefore, I don't see myself getting the most value with that credit card. Now, I've heard that Chase is a bit more strict on their business credit cards compared to other credit card companies. Therefore, they might require proof of business expenses and revenue. Another great option is American Express with their business credit card. Though no annual fee, Blue Business Plus credit card offers 2x back on the first 50K in purchases each year, and 1x back on everything else. Now, business credit cards can be great, especially if you only have the sign-up bonuses, while not affecting your Chase 524 rule. I see myself applying for a business card at the end of 2024 or the very beginning of 2025. After that, I don't really have any set plans on what credit cards I would like to add, although I do have a list of credit cards I would eventually like to add at some point. in my credit card journey. Now, I would ideally like to complete the Chase trifecta by getting one of the Chase Premium Child credit cards. I see myself getting one of these Premium Child credit cards either in the beginning of 2025. That way I can pull up my points on the limited and the flex while I wait to apply and to complete the Chase trifecta. Another credit card I will eventually like to add is the AAA Daily Vantage Visa card. Now, this card offers 5% cash back on grocery purchases, 3% cash back on gas and wholesale clubs, although that 5 and 3% category is maxed at $10,000 spent in a calendar year. Now, this is a great credit card because it has no annual fee and you don't have to be a AAA member to get this card. Another strong cashback card I would like to add is the US Bank Signature card. This card offers 5% back on 2 categories you choose, 2% cash back on one everyday category of your choice, 1% cash back on everything else. Another similar card is the Citi Custom Cash card that offers 5% cash back on your tap category. Although the trick with this card is to just use in one category because it offers 1% cash back on everything else. Now, my end goal is to have a strong cashback setup with 5% cash back on almost everything. Now, this will take time and patience, unfortunately, but I'm in no rush since I am happy with the credit cards I have right now. Now, this roadmap can easily evolve over time as my habits can change and my daily spend could be different in 6 months to a year. But I'll keep you updated on my roadmap at different stages of my life. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching.